Starting a homestead on 5K to full budget breakdown. All right, y'all, let's talk about building a real homestead from scratch with just $5,000. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is tight. But if you play it smart, you can get dirt under your nails, food on your table, and a legit start to a micro homestead business right here in the United States. I did a version of this myself and helped 3 buddies do it too. So this is not theory. This is boots in the mud, chicken poop on your boots kind of talk. First off, set your head straight. $5,000 is not going to buy you 40 acres and a red barn. We are talking micro. Think backyard, rented lot, a small piece of family land, or even a long-term lease on an acre outside town. In most of the United States, you can lease a half acre to 1 acre for a couple $100 a year if you hunt around on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, or just ask around at the feed store. Folks with land hate mowing it. You offer to keep it clean and toss them $200 to $400 for the year, and suddenly you have a spot. That is step 1, land access. Budget about $300 for that. If you already have a backyard, congrats, you just saved $300. Move it to fencing. Now, fencing. You have to keep critters in and predators out. The cheapest route that actually works is T-posts and welded wire or electric netting. For a quarter-acre garden and animal paddock, you are looking at roughly $600 if you buy new. But here is the homestead hack. Check the Habitat for Humanity Restore, local farm auctions, and the free section on Craigslist. I snagged 20 used T-posts for $40 last spring. Some guy was tearing down goat pens. Be that person who shows up with cash and a truck. If you go new, plan $600. If you hustle used, you can get it down to $250. I am going to budget $400 in our breakdown because we are scrappy, but we still want it to stand up. Water. You can grow squat without it. If your spot has a spigot, you are golden. If not, you need rain barrels or a 275-gallon IBC tote. Those totes go for $50 to $100 used. Get one that had food-grade stuff in it, not chemicals. Ask. Wash it out anyway. Add a spigot kit for $15 and a cheap inline filter for $20. You can daisy chain gutters off a small shed or tarp setup to fill it. Total water setup, call it $150. That leaves you with water storage and gravity feed for drip lines. Drip tape and connectors for a 2,000 square foot garden will run you another $80 if you buy a farmer pack. That is $230 for water. Non-negotiable. Let's talk shelter. You need a place for tools, feed, and maybe baby chicks. Do not go buy a pre-built shed for $2,000. Build a cattle panel hoop coop. 3 cattle panels at $30 each, a tarp for $40, some 2x4s and hardware cloth for $120, hinges and a latch for $20. You're at $270, and you have an 8x12 structure that works for broilers, layers, rabbits, or storage. If you need a second one, you can duplicate it later after you make some money. For now, one does it. So $270 for shelter. Animals or garden. With $5K, you cannot do everything day one. Pick one enterprise that cash flows fast. For most of the United States, broiler chickens or a market garden are the fastest flip. I like broilers because they are done in 8 weeks, and people will throw money at pasture-raised chick order. 50 Cornish cross chicks from a hatchery will be about $100 with shipping. Chick feed for 8 weeks, roughly 500 pounds, is about $180 right now. Bedding, pine shavings, another $30. Kill cones, and a scalder you can borrow or rent from your local extension office. If not, a used turkey fryer and 2 cones will set you back $60. So birds, feed, and basic processing gear is $370. Sell those 50 birds at 5 per pound and a 4-pound average, and you are looking at 1,000 gross. That is your first flip. It pays for the next round and then some. If you are more of a plant person, skip the birds and go garden. Seeds are cheap, but buy good ones. $80 gets you a solid starter set of tomatoes, peppers, greens, squash, beans, and herbs. Soil amendments are where people blow the budget. Do not buy 10 bags of fancy soil. Call tree companies and ask for wood chips free. Call horse barns and ask for aged manure, usually free if you load it. Get a $20 soil test through your county extension. Then add only what you need. Lime is $5 a bag. Compost, if you must buy it, get a yard from a local supplier for $35. Total for soil and seeds, call it $150. You will also want a broad fork or a heavy-duty digging fork. Used 40, new 90. Let's say 60. So garden start is $210. Tools. You do not need the whole Home Depot aisle. You need a shovel, a hard rake, a hoe, a hori-hori knife, pruners, and a wheelbarrow. Buy once, cry once, but buy used if you can. Estate sales are gold. I got a solid wheelbarrow for $20 and a shovel for $3. Budget $150 for core tools. A small chest freezer off Marketplace for processing and storage is a game changer. You can find them all day for $75 to $100. Pick one up for $100. That is $250 for tools and cold storage. So let's run the numbers in plain English. Land access $300, fencing $400, water $230, shelter $270, chickens and feed $370, seeds and soil $210. Tools and freezer $250. That puts us at $2030. Hold up, we still have $2970 left. That is your buffer and your scale money. Here's how I would break up the rest. Set $500 aside as a hard emergency fund. Something will break. A dog will dig under your fence. A hawk will find your birds. You need cash to fix it same day. Do not touch it unless it is a real emergency. That leaves $2470. Put $800 into more infrastructure that makes you money. That could be a second hoop coop so you can run 2 batches of broilers back to back. Or it could be a caterpillar tunnel made from 10-foot PVC and greenhouse plastic for $300 to extend your growing season. Season extension means you sell greens in March when nobody else has them. In the United States, early and late crops get premium prices at market. That $800 turns into cash real quick. Take $600 and invest in sales channels. This is unsexy, but it matters. A 10 Chadwick 10 canopy for farmers market is $150. Foldable table $60. A banner with your farm name. 40 state licenses or permits vary, but in many places you can sell whole broilers or veggies under cottage food or farm exemptions for under $100. A square reader, 10, some paper bags, twist ties, and labels 50. A decent cooler 80. Business cards 20. That is about 510. Call it $600 to cover fees you did not expect. If you sell from home, you still need signage and a way to take cards. People do not carry cash anymore. Another $500 goes to feed and seed for round 2. You never want to be stuck waiting on payday to feed your animals. Pre-buy. Prices go up and stuff goes out of stock. Having that second batch of feed in the barn means you stay on schedule. For garden folks, this is your fall seed order and row cover. Now you have $570 left. This is your learning and safety budget. Spend $100 on books or a workshop with your local extension. Joel Salatin books are $20 used and will save you thousands in mistakes. Spend $70 on a good pair of boots and gloves. Trench foot is not a business plan. Spend $100 on hardware cloth. Predators are relentless, and chicken wire is not worth the name. The last $300 sits in the bank for opportunities. When a guy down the road sells 20 laying hens for $5 each, you want to be the one who can say yes. Let me tell you how this actually plays out over a year in most of the United States. Month 1, you set fence, water, and shelter. Month 2, you brood chicks and start seedlings. Month 3, you are in the garden and birds are on pasture. Month 4, you process your first batch of chickens and sell them. You are now back to about 4,500 total because you made 1,000 and spent some. Roll that into batch 2. By month 6, you have done 2 batches of broilers and have a summer garden pumping. You can clear $1,500 to $2,000 profit if you sell direct. Month 7 to 9 is fall garden and maybe layers if you added them. Winter is for planting, fixing, and selling storage crops. By the end of year 1, it is normal to have turned $5,000 into $7,000 to $9,000 in gross sales and still own all the infrastructure. That is the real win. The stuff you build does not disappear. A few hard truths. You will be tired. You will fail at something. The first time I did broilers, I lost 6 to a raccoon because I skimped on hardware cloth. That $40 of cloth would have saved me $120 in birds. Learn from my dumb tax. Also, the United States has rules. Check your state laws for poultry processing, egg sales, and water collection. Most states are friendly to small farms, but you have to know the lines. Call your county extension. Those folks are paid to help you, and they actually know their stuff. Marketing is half the battle. Do not be the quiet homesteader. Post on Instagram and Facebook. People buy your story before they buy your carrots. Brian, take pictures of your hands in the dirt. Show the chickens on grass. Americans love to support local. Tell them why your food is better. You are not just selling calories, you are selling trust. That is why you can charge $5 a pound for chicken when the store has it for $2. If you cannot do animals because of zoning, go all in on salad greens, microgreens, and herbs. A 2x4 shelf with shop lights in a spare room grows 20 trays of microgreens a week. Seed cost $15. You sell them for $25 per tray to restaurants or at market. That is $500 a week gross on a $200 setup. It fits the $5K budget easy. Use $1,000 for the rack, lights, trays, soil, and seeds. Use the rest for a chest freezer, packaging, and market gear. Same principle. Fast flip, low overhead, direct sales. One more thing. Do not buy a tractor. I know it is tempting. It will eat your whole budget and then ask for diesel. Use a broad fork, a wheelbarrow, and your own 2 feet for year 1. When you're profitable, then you can talk equipment. The goal is to make money, not to look like a farmer on TV. So that is the full breakdown. You start with $5,000. You spend it on land access, fence, water, shelter, a money-making enterprise, tools and sales. You keep a buffer. You reinvest in what works. You stay scrappy. You learn. You talk to people. And by next season, you are not starting from zero anymore. You have a micro homestead business that is alive. If this helped you, let me know what you want me to break down next. Compost systems for under 50, or how to make $1,000 a month from a backyard egg flock. I am here for it. Now get out there and build something. If this helped you, let me know what you want me to break down next.